It's Amy from Amy G's Creations. I am back again. It's been a month, and I'm actually sticking to filming after a month instead of waiting 2 months or 3 months or 4 months. So that's exciting. This is going to be probably the longest video I have ever filmed. And I just realized I don't need to be wearing my glasses, so I'm going to take them off. This is probably the longest video have ever filmed. So get a drink, get a cross-stitch project, settle in, get comfortable. Yeah, we're gonna dive right in. Okay, first, to start off with, I have 2 fully finished objects. They are a mommy and a baby. Look, so cute. This is the mommy, of course, and this is the baby of the little adorable Biscornus. Now, this pattern is from Colourfever and hold on a second. Okay, I've got it. Here's the pattern. It's called Kornfblumen Biscornu from Colourfever. She designed the floss, and the pattern was designed by Lidia Schmitz. This was given to me by Francisca, the Colourfever floss dyer. And it's made with her specially dyed silk floss. She did it in 2 colorways. She did it especially for this pattern. And I did substitute some beads. Where these beads are, there was originally supposed to just be some of the blue floss. But I have so many beads from all my... Every time I go to a secondhand store, I look in the crafting section, and if there's beads, I bring them home. So I have so many that I decided to add them to this Biscornu instead of some of the floss. A funny story. So I'm working on this. I have the little one completely done, and I am stitching the second part. No, I'm not. I'm stitching the top, well, one side of this Biscornu. And I write Francisca and I'm like, I'm running out of floss. Because in what she gave me, there was some silk floss and there was some cotton floss, dyed the same colors. And I was, because one was really thin and the silk is always thinner, and then the cotton one was thicker. And so I wrote her, I'm like, hey, can I buy more of the silk floss for you? There wasn't quite enough because I want to do both in the silk instead of just using the cotton for the other one. And she's like, what are you talking about? She's like, they're both silk. The smaller one was supposed to be for the baby one, and the bigger one was supposed to be for the bigger one. And I was like, I'm an idiot. I couldn't. Her floss is so nice, I couldn't tell the difference. I thought, because they were both so soft, I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know. Anyway, so I had plenty of floss. So if you buy this from her, I think it's still on her Etsy website. Fear not, she's ultra generous with the floss, and it's all silk floss. Anyhow, so yeah, I'm a goober. I finished it as you do a normal Biscornu. Now, she recommended using another, like a larger bead for the inside. But again, I have a very generous button collection. And so I used buttons. 2 slightly different colors in each one. And these are completely reversible. So this side has more buttons in the middle. This side has more on the top. You can display them either way. Like this one has the buttons, but this one has the pretty flowers. It just depends. I love this pattern. I think it's great. She did a fantastic job. I'm just checking to be sure that I'm really filming. Okay, so that was my 2 fully finished objects. As you may remember, I realized that I have way more time to work on my full coverage piece as a gift for my son than I originally thought. And so I had started working on a bunch of stuff. That continued in this next month. I worked on it, okay, and you'll see it, but I worked on several other things as well. And a couple of them were finished. Now, they're not fully finished. That was these. But these were also some finishes. So, this is a free design. I just went on Pinterest and searched for free nativity cross stitch, because I just wanted several cute little scenes, nativity scenes. My idea is I'm stitching them all on the same piece of fabric, and then I will display, some will go in frames, some will be finished as stand-ups, and I will just have like a little display on a little table of a whole bunch of the different scenes. This fabric is a 40 count grandma slip from Xstitch Designs. Now this is funny. I took this piece to a stitching meetup that we had in Bern last Saturday. And people came over and looked, and there was one lady, she's like, oh wow, what count is that? And I said, oh, it's 36. And then I looked, and I'm using two strands of floss on this. And then I got home and I was looking in the project bag, and I had kept the little tag that Judith always puts on her fabric, and I realized it was 40 count. And on this one that I finished, I did use 1 strand of floss. But on this one, I used 2 strands of floss on 40 count. And can I tell you, I am not sad about it. That thing pops. That just looks so good. I used a slightly bigger needle, so it created space for the floss. There were a few places where it was kind of tight and I couldn't use the sewing method very well, so I had to do the poke and stab. But I think it turned out pretty darn good. I already have the next pattern picked out for what I'm going to put on this fabric. And I will show you that in plans. And I think I'm going to go back to the 1 floss just because it is so much easier to use with 1 strand of floss. But I kind of like how that's looking. I don't know who the designer is. Like I said, I just typed in on Pinterest freebies. And I chose all my own colors. There was nothing original. The only change on this was the baby Jesus was supposed to have a halo. But my husband has a thing about halos. We're religious, but he thinks that's a little odd because nobody's actually walking around with a halo. So I left it off. So that was my, I guess, 3rd finish. And then I've been kind of putting this off. I wasn't feeling them. And then as I was going through my projects, I just had that inspired me to, because immediately when I finished this up, I was able to then kit up a new project, right? And then I was like, I like this idea of finishing up some of these things and kitting up new things. It doesn't mean I'm going to start them, but it's just fun, the idea of having I really like gathering all the floss and putting it all together. And so that kind of satisfied that itch without actually adding to my whip pile, because it's just kitted up in a project bag, ready to be started, but it's not started. So I went through, and what else can be close to a finish? And these gingerbread men that I had started were one of them. Now I know why I stopped, and it's because I ran out of the floss that I was using, because I was grabbing ragtag leftovers, JP and Coates floss that my mom gave me, and random no-name floss off some China site that another friend gave me. And so I had run out of some of the colors that I was using, and I kind of got frustrated and I wasn't sure, so I just set it aside. So I took this time to go, Amy, just grab some more floss. Stop overthinking this. So even though one of my little gingerbread ladies has different colored feet, it's fine. She's a gingerbread cookie. She was just in the hot spot in the oven and her feet got extra done. You know, it's not the end of the world. Some of them are darker, some of more goldeny brown. Again, it's not that big a deal. Now, I originally had 4, and those 2, the ones that I needed to finish up, got finished up so fast, and by then I had gone through and found so much other floss that I went ahead and made 2 more. So I have 3 boys and 3 girls. My idea is to finish these in pillow ornaments. And it would be super cute if I just did the back, but I'm not going to do the back. I'm not. They're just going to be finished as pillows with fabric on the front. They might even be flat folds, but I kind of want them little puffy fat gingerbread men. This was a free pattern from Primrose Cottage Stitches. It was on part of their newsletter or on their website. I think their newsletter. And it said like a whole thing. There was like the boy gingerbread man was on one side, the girl gingerbread was on another, and inside it said Merry Christmas, and there was like little holly on the leaves. A holly leaf border on the bottom. Well, I just made it. I just did the gingerbread men. I don't need another sign that says Merry Christmas. This is on like 10 count maybe, Aida cloth. And what I did, this is why I ate so much of the floss. I used a full 6 strands, not separated, doubled. So that means there's 12 strands. Now, did it get a little messy? Yes. Do I care? No, I do not. But yeah, so 12 strands of floss. That means, that's why it ate up so much. Even though they're small, it used up a lot of floss. But they turned out so cute. I really, really like them. It was very fun. Okay, so then, after all those cool finishes, I got inspired to, again, work on my big cross stitch. Now, I am going to just put this board underneath the part I worked on the most. And that is, so I'm not even going to show you the whole thing all at once. Right here. This pattern is by Unconventional Xstitch. It is Van Gogh Never Met the Fellowship. I am stitching it on 18 count pre-gilded fabric that I bought from 123 Stitch. And I am now at 25%, which is so exciting. I've been concentrating on the 939. My goal is basically to finish all the 939. And so, since the last time you saw it, I have several members of the fellowship pretty much done. There's some other colors in there, but all the 939 of them is done. And it is looking so great. Let me try to sit back and hold up the whole thing, because this thing is getting big. I can't see the camera, so I'm not sure if this is in there or not. But here you go. It is looking awesome. I'm very happy with my decision to finish all the 939. One, it goes really quick. And so I feel like I'm making progress. I'm able to get like 1,000 stitches a day. And yes, that's on a day that I have like 5 hours to stitch. But I'm very happy with that. And also it's going to make the rest of the stitching go so much faster because I will have such a good placement. You know what I mean? I won't have to count so much because there's going to be already so much as a background, not as a background, but as like a scaffolding, shall we say, for the rest of the piece. So, yeah, I still work on that on a regular basis, but because one, it's going so quick with this 939, and two, because I have so much extra time, it is really taking the pressure off. I can enjoy this stitch, and I can enjoy other things as well. So I'm really, really, really happy with that. I have got the hiccups. How embarrassing. Okay. Another one of the projects that I pulled out that I have not touched for a while, and I just decided, you know what, this is getting really close to a finish. Let's let's work on, not that you can finish it, but let's work on it again, is my Cross Stitcher's Alphabet from Brooke's books. Now, of course, the reason I pulled this out was because of her passing. Very, very sad. I feel bad for her whole family. And here it is. We're doing really, really good. Since you last saw it, I fully completed the O, the P, the quilt, the R for red work, the S, the S for sampler, and now I'm starting on the T for tatting. The L up here, you'll notice there's a stray piece of floss hanging out. I need to order a couple more petite of the white beads. So I'm just leaving that there. I only need 2 more, but I've searched and searched for all my leftover Mill Hill beads where I originally got them from, and I don't have any more. So I'm going to need to order those. But yeah, this is a really fun quick stitch. It's on 18 count Aida. That's why I need the petite beads, because some of the regular size beads I can get in there, but in some places it's a tight fit. Yeah, but I want to get this done and on my wall. If you can see behind me, I've done a little cleaning in my room and added some things. Okay. Yeah, so that was my Stitcher's Alphabet from Brooke's books. Got quite a bit of work done on that. Then, my little prayer schooler Santa. This is going to be the sewing one. He's got like a sewing machine next to him. And you will see, I work on it for a while and then I just stop. My needle stays in. Yeah, these are on 40 count. I think it's a natural, no, it's not natural linen. It was a 40 count linen from Zweigart. I wanted them slightly smaller than if they were on the 18 count. 1/1 would be super cute, super tiny, tiny. Kia B, sorry, I dropped him. Kia B is doing those, the super, super tiny ones, but I can't do the tiny ones. Not yet. I have a project in mind to start, but for these, the 40 count, just 2/1 works great. And I'm using all the cold 4 colors. And of course, I had my 25th month, my leap year project that I'm working on. And normally you would do it on the 29th, but again, I'm doing it on the 25th. And my brother had then his, because that's the day he was born, in February 25th. And this month, this day, ended up being a busy day. I did not have a lot of time. So all I got done is this little thing right there. I think the last time you saw it, I did that was March. I think on February, on his actual birthday, I finished the bottom of this border here in that beautiful purple overdyed, and maybe added a few things in there, but I think this was just that. And then in March, I worked on this. Now, part of the problem of why I didn't get as much done, one, yes, it was a busy day and I didn't have a whole lot of time. I think I only had like an hour and a half, which is frustrating. But the other thing is the colors on the chart. This is a Twin Peaks primitive chart, and it's cherry. Hold on, I have the pattern right here. It is Cherry Garden by Twin Peaks Primitives. And on the pattern, for this, 2 of these colors, the symbol is like an open bracket, and then for a different color, it's closed bracket, okay? Which looks very, very close together, very, very similar. And I printed it out, and so the printing out you know, my printer, I guess, didn't do a super great job. So I knew I was going to get very confused as to what color was what. So before I could even start stitching, and again, I did not have much time, but before I could even start, I had to go onto the pattern and use a highlighter, and I'll just show you right there. I had to highlight one of the symbols so that I could differentiate it from the other one. I love the twins' designs. But seriously, there are so many symbols in the world that you could choose. Letters, numbers. You do not need to choose an open bracket and a closed bracket and put them right next to each other in the pattern. You just don't. You just don't. But again, the goal is to finish this. It's been working on it for a little over a year now. It's supposed to be done by the next leap year. And the way things are going, I'm feeling pretty good about it. I'm not stressed. I'm just enjoying it. I always kind of be a little bit reflective and chill while I'm stitching it, so there's only good vibes going in. So that is that. And this is this fabric. I want to say it's a 36 count. And it's a pale mint green from Zweigart. What the exact color is, I don't know, but it's a very pale green. And I'm pretty sure it's a 36 count. When I go to Zweigart and buy my fabric, guys, I look at that giant wall of all the colors, and I kind of know, oh, I want to get some slightly higher count. But if the color only exists in like a lower count, I buy it. I go by color. I want all the colors. So that's why I don't know for sure. Okay. Also, I pulled out this. This is called I Solemnly Swear by Piccola Parigi Designs. And I will have to say that this pattern I cannot find on their website anymore. I am sure they had to take it down to avoid getting in trouble from the people who own Harry Potter copyright trademark. But I'm wondering if you can write her directly if you really like it and get it from her. It's a great pattern in that there are very few colors, but they look really great together. Now I am stitching this on a 32 count linen from Zweigart. It's like a gray blue. And at one point I thought I would add some sparkle. So I did add some gold there around some of the lightning bolts. But see, as you can see, this is already coming out because I didn't anchor it properly. So I'm going to have to redo that. And originally I was going to, there's back stitching around these stars. And I had this dark, like not a black, but a dark gray diamant floss from DMC. And I thought, oh, that'll go really good with this dark thing. And it looked great together. The problem is the diamant is too thick and it doesn't lay flat against the star. So it was kind of puffing up, and it didn't matter how tight I pulled it. I could not get it to lay flat. And so it ended up looking horrible. I was very dissatisfied. So I pulled it out and just did the outline in the same gray that they had you do the stitching in. Which is kind of unfortunate, and maybe I'll keep my eye out if they have something better. But for now, it's fine. That dark gray diamant would have looked really cool, but it was just too thick. I even tried to figure out if I could separate it. You can't separate it. Anyway, so let's see. I know I worked on a whole bunch of this, and I believe this was all new. And I added these things. And maybe I finished the swear, but I think that was done last time I showed this. But yeah, I put quite a bit of work on this. I'm hoping to maybe finish this year. But I'm not going to stress myself because this is my hobby, and I've really embraced working on what I want when I want. because it's my hobby and it's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be a break from all my duties and chores and jobs. And so I don't want my stitching to ever become a duty or a chore or a job. So I'm not forcing myself to do anything. It'd be fun, but you know what? Eventually it'll get done, if not this year, the next year, and that's fine too. I just want to enjoy working on it. So that is that one. Like I said, I worked on a lot. Then, I know I said that last time that I had finished this, one of these designs, and I didn't feel much pressure to start a next one. But then it was my friend Jennie, from Stitching Jennie. I will link her below. It was her birthday again, and she was stitching on another bunny pattern. So I had to stitch on another bunny pattern too. And so this is more of that same 32 count, I believe, maybe 36 count that I'm using on for my cherry garden. And this is the Easter Village. Let's see what the thing is called. Hoppy Hollow Easter Village from Vintage Tulip Designs. And I started the next one. Now, I originally said that I had 9 of the patterns. I lied. I have 6 of the patterns. So this is going to be the middle of the front row, top row, and then there'll be 1 more here, and then 3 more down below. And so I decided to do the Hoppy Easter in the middle of the top row. I have changed a lot of the colors. There's another color that goes in between here. I'm using some Colourfever variegated floss, some silk floss for the greens, for the grass. I'm using some variegated. I'm using some DMC. I just kind of grabbed colors that were similar to what she used, but that I already had on hand because I didn't want to buy a whole bunch more of the variegated floss. But yeah, I worked on that for a couple of days, and I might work on it again. Again, it depends what I feel like. But yeah, super cute. So happy birthday, Jennie. I know your birthday was a little bit ago, but that's what I worked on in honor of you. Okay, and then I have been wanting to start this for a long time. I printed out their free patterns. This is from Jardin Prive, and it is her Think Positive pattern she made. It's a freebie. It's on her blog. And I had printed them out and then kind of forgot about it. She did them in several different languages. And then I saw on Stitching Mommy, Stitching Mommy, sorry, no, not Stitching Mommy. Stitching Mama, Stitchy Mama, gosh, my German friend Marion, Stitchy Mama, she did these. She, of course, did them in German. And then it reminded me, oh yeah, well, I had forgot that I had printed them out, so I printed them out again because, you know, that's what I do. And I have turned this into my Sunday stitch. Now, here's the thing. Some Sundays I get time to stitch, but some Sundays my kids want to spend time with me. We have been playing Battle for Hogwarts. We have been stuck on year 7. We have been defeated several times. And sometimes Sunday afternoons end up being nap time. So again, but there's no rush. If I get a Sunday and I get some time, I work on it. And if I don't, it's no big deal. I don't stress about it. But this is what I've gotten so far. And I'm really pleased with it. Again, this is one of those ones where I kind of looked at I looked at the called for colors. I looked at the model stitch. I've looked at what a few other people have done. And I decided, and what Marion completely changed up some of her colors. And so I have changed mine up as well. I am using a variety of, I've got some Classic Colorworks. I've got some overdyed floss that I got from Xstitch Designs. I've got some DMC. I've got some Aurifil. All kinds of stuff going on in here. really, really pleased with this. Because it's a lot of it is words, that goes pretty quick. And the blue, the lighter teal writing on there, it might be hard to see on camera, but in real life, it is very easy to read. This is on a 32 count vintage country mocha that I'm stitching on from Zweigart. And yeah, that's what I've gotten. So all the words are going to be a variation of this dark blue, then light blue, and then the next time the words come up, I will go back to the dark blue. A lot of places where it's called for more pink, I have substituted purple, but I am still using some pinks, corals in there. I just prefer purple and teal and light turquoise blue. So that is that. And again, still got my needle stuck in there because that's how I roll. All right. Now, I have had a couple of very fun meetups. 2 Saturdays in a row, which I am very blessed, considering how many years I cross-stitched at home, alone, by myself, and looking for friends, and now to see that I've got almost too many meetups, too many opportunities to hang out with fellow Swiss cross-stitchers is really, really fantastic. So one Saturday, I met up with Stitchy Ina and Lainey from Stitchy Veg and Franziska from Colourfever. We met up in Singen in Germany, and they were so kind. We picked a date, and then my boss kind of changed the schedule and threw this thing on me. For the librarian, one of the things I do is when toddlers come and I do like nursery rhyme time for them, and she chose the date without consulting me and like published it and like put it out there, so I had to show up, and it happened to be on this Saturday we had already chosen. And so we were originally going to meet at 10, and I said, look, I get off at work at 12, it'll take me about an hour and a half to get there. And they said, that's fine, I can stay longer than that. And so they didn't even meet up until 11. I ended up with traffic not getting there till 2 o'clock, almost, just before 2 o'clock. And we stayed until 5, till the cafe closed and they kicked us out. Just chatting and stitching. I love those ladies. And then afterwards, of course, I went shopping and grabbed the all-important pickles and Princess Lilyfay tea that my daughter loves. And we just chatted and cross-stitched, and it was very, very nice. And then Franziska gave us all presents. She has been on a crochet kick, and she made each one of us something different, unique to us, and she knows my colors because I always buy the same color floss from her. Not really, but most often. And so she made me this little coin purse. Isn't that so cute? And attached the things. Oh, she did so good. And then I opened it up. And of course, she has included some awesome floss. Again, she knows I love purple. She knows I love blue. So beautiful. Cotton floss. I mean, she finished it so nice inside too. Really, really cute. Thank you, Franziska. And it's really weird. I call her Francie. But anyway, thank you. I love it. It's so cute. And look, they go together. And then the next Saturday, a whole bunch of us Swiss cross-stitchers met up in Bern. So Elenia and Elia organized it, and there ended up being 10 of us there. Now, Ina and Francie couldn't come to the one in Bern because they have little kids, they have jobs, and so they couldn't be gone 2 Saturdays in a row. And so that's why we met up then in Singen, and they couldn't come to Bern. But my baby is 17 and a half, I just ditched my family and went 2 Saturdays in a row, gone all day. So we met up in Bern. They had Elenia had found a room that we could rent from the Catholic church there. It had a little kitchen, gorgeous solid wall of windows, gorgeous bright light. Even though it was a rainy day, the light was great for cross stitching. And it was so fun to see. Okay, first of all, I met a whole bunch of people whose I've met them once before, but I didn't remember because it was the very first Stitch Basel. But I think actually a lot of them came to the second Stitch Basel, which I couldn't go to because the date didn't work out for me. And they were, but Ina had met them and Francis, so they had known each other, but I wasn't there. So these have been names on our WhatsApp chat group that I had been seeing, but I didn't have a face to put to the name. So it was super, super fun to see them in person and go, oh, you're Michelle, oh, you're Momo, oh, you're and yeah. And they're all absolutely lovely. And we've already decided we're going to meet up again in June and then again in August. So my stitchy heart is full. I am so happy that we have these ladies. And if you are watching this and you happen to be a Swiss cross stitcher, English speaking, German speaking, French speaking, Italian speaking, we don't care. If you live in Switzerland, reach out to me. I'll get you added to the group and you can start meeting up with us. Anybody is welcome to host a get-together. I'm really hoping that Nicoletta puts something together down in Tessin. And maybe we could even make like a baby retreat out of it and like plan to stay a couple of days because that's a little bit further travel. And when she comes up here, she has a place to stay in Zurich. But if we went down there, it's a little bit to travel for just one day. But like if we made like a 2-day little baby retreat out of it, that would be super fun. Okay, Nicoletta? Anyway, seeing everybody's projects in person, and some of these things were not things that I would ever do myself again, but it's just the beauty of the craft, right? Like the artistry of it. All of their projects were so amazing, and Momo especially. Okay, she's working on the sampler where she is putting in her own. She's made her own designs of houses or pieces of architectural work that are important to her. She's got a Japanese temple. She's in the middle is going to go like her childhood home. She's got 2 other buildings that are important to her and her family. It was gorgeous. It was gorgeous. And it was huge, this huge thing. And she's like doing it in like designing the whole thing herself. It's fantastic. Like really talented. Really talented. They were all absolutely lovely, and there was a Migros right across the street, so when it was lunchtime, people just ran over, grabbed something. I mean, literally across the street. Ran over, grabbed something, came back, and we were able to stay there until 5 again. So it was a nice long day. Area was so nice. Area, yeah, I'm saying that right. She's from around there, right? Like she grew up in that neighborhood. She was pointing out like, oh yeah, we used to live right over there. I parked, and because of where the church didn't really have parking. It was all on-street parking. And I had gotten there a little bit later, just a few minutes, but after the original meetup time of 10. And so and it's like residents park there too, right? And so I was kind of driving around and slowly circling further and further out from the church, trying to find on-street parking. Finally, I found a spot, but now I was like, not sure how the parking goes. Because every city in Switzerland is different. And I wasn't sure if my blue thing that you put in the windshield was good enough. And then I was like, but then I can only park for an hour. That's kind of dumb. How do I work? So I messaged the group, and areas like, you have to buy a parking ticket at the Tramhaltestelle. Like at the tram stop. And I was like, I have never heard of this before. Oh, my neighbor's kind of loud. Anyway. So I was like, what? Every town does it different. And I've lived in Switzerland for 24 years, and I've never heard of buying a parking ticket for your car at the tram stop. So she's like, hold on, where are you? Well, I am a gooberhead, and I have done it before, but I couldn't figure out how to send her a pin to my location. So I just like told her where I was, and she knew the area so well. She knew exactly where I was parked. She came and found me, and it ended up really not being that far away. But she came and got me, took me to the tram station, showed me how to buy the parking ticket. We put it in my car. You can just buy a 4-hour one or an all-day pass. So that was super convenient. I just bought a 24-hour one because I didn't want to have to leave right after 4 hours and be rushed. And then walked me back to the church. Anyway, so thank you again for being my personal companion, personal tour guide. And yeah, it was just great. Yeah, so next time, Mariana invited us to come to her house and sit out in her garden. And she's got plenty of room because she has an inside large table and an outside large table with a giant window apparently in between. So she can open that up if the weather's nice, and then we can just, it's like we're all in one room together. So look, that's what we're doing in June. But then my friend Jackie, wonderful Jackie, she gave me a gift that I was completely not expecting, total surprise. And it's one of those, jewelry boxes. She went up to Kicks Action, one of those, and got it. So she said it wasn't very expensive, so we can remodel it and to make it our traveling case, like everybody has. I already have several ideas. I'm very excited. I have to watch some videos to figure out how to do it. But that was a really unnecessary, totally lovely surprise. Thank you very much, Jackie, for that. Okay, so now plans. I'm going to continue to work on my big whip and all my little whips, like I said, as the occasion fits. But I also found, digging through several old patterns that I got from my mom, I found this Dimensions. It was originally a Dimensions kit, okay? I don't know if she did the kit. All the material is gone. All the floss is gone. The cover photo is gone. All I have is literally the pattern for these nativity ornaments. And they're designed to be in 3. There's one with 2 shepherds on it, one with the 3 wise men, and one with Mary, Joseph, and the baby Jesus. But I am going to stitch them all together to make another one of the little nativity displays. And because it's a Dimensions kit, it used DMC floss, but it does not refer to the DMC number. It's just like maroon or light blue or dark brown and dark brown. So I just went through this morning. My husband came and he's like, "What you doing?" And I'm like, "Kitting up another project." He's like, "Okay." And so I Googled it and I found a picture of the front cover, and I just kind of went through. I'm using some variegated floss and some DMC. Found some ones that I think will work, and I pulled that all together. So that's another little nativity. I'll be starting on that piece of fabric. And I've kitted up some stockings, some little baby stockings. That's all ready to go. But again, I haven't started it yet because it's really fun to finish stuff and then, again, satisfy that itch of kitting it up without the pressure of having to start it and add to my whip collection. Yeah. And then in the next, Easter's coming up. So I'll have a break from work. This whole week I haven't needed to work at all, which has been fun. I've been cleaning the house and cross stitching. My sister-in-law and my nephew are coming next Saturday. They're just going to be here for one day. And so I'm trying to get things ready to have them have a good place to sleep for them for one night. And then they're going up to the Black Forest to do a bunch of hiking and stuff, a mother-son trip for his senior graduation trip, basically. So I'm looking forward to that. But the week before they are coming, so not this week, but this next week, I work every single day. Okay, normally I work 2 to 4 hours a week max at my little library job because we're only open 10 hours a week. But we are doing spring cleaning. Once a year, we take every single book off the shelf. We clean all the books. We clean all the shelves. We're going to do some reorganizing of the books. Right now, we have some of the kids' books organized by name of author, and instead we're going to organize them by fantasy, adventure, mystery, funny, those kinds of things to help the kids find books that because they don't know the authors. They just know, I like soccer books. I like unicorn books. So we're going to try to organize them in a way that makes more sense to what the kids are looking for. But it's a huge undertaking. She's been wanting to do it for a year, and my boss, and we haven't gotten down to do it because just thinking about it, it's just like, oh, what kind of categories? Well, anyway, so we're doing that this week. And plus I'm meeting with 3 different school classes where they come in when we are not open. That means all total, I am going to be working 20 hours this week. Now that's a full half-time job, right? Because a full-time job is 40 hours a week. Here's the thing. I am still a mom who has to cook 2 meals a day. I don't ever cook breakfast, never have, never will. But sometimes we have breakfast for dinner. But lunch and dinner for everybody. I do all the cleaning, which I'm fine with. My kids, they are adults. They can clean. They will help out once in a while. But they are busy with school and work. And I have more time than they do, generally speaking. This next week, I will not have very much time. I told them there's going to be a lot of frozen pizza being eaten and canned ravioli in your futures, kids, because I just won't have time to cook. So anyway, that's why I'm doing a bunch of cleaning before my sister-in-law gets here. Not that she's going to judge my house, but like things that I go, I've been meaning to clean that. Might as well do it now before she gets here. So I'm doing that this week because I will not have time next week. And I know I'm going to be wanting to cross stitch when I get home from work, from my busy days, to relax and chill and get ready for the next crazy thing that happens, the next crazy day of work. So yeah, those are my plans for the next little bit. But then after that super busy week, I again have 2.5 weeks where I don't do anything because it's Easter and then spring vacation and the library is closed. So that's going to be super fun. So who knows? I'm going to get quite a bit of time to cross stitch, I know. And who knows how many more finishes I will have next time we meet. Okay, and I guess that is finally it for me. Thank you so much for tuning in. I've had some new subscribers. Thank you so much. I don't know if you're English speaking or German speaking, but I appreciate you either way. I'm so happy. I've been doing this Flosstube now for I think 4 years, and it's not a baby channel, but it's pretty small channel still. And so I get excited every single new subscriber. I get a little sad every time I see somebody unsubscribe from me, even though I try not to take it personal. It still feels a little personal. I'm just weird that way. So thank you for all who have subscribed and leave comments. And I'll see you again in a month. Bye.